one is Adolis Garcia. So
the legend grows of Adolis
Garcia. Sets the record for most RBIs in a single postseason at 22 with that home run.
We tried everything we could after the game. If that's what you tried everything we could, I'm worried as a United fan. Like, is that the best United we're going to see then? Is that what you view United as at their best if we tried everything we could against City?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the BTR podcast.
Before we get started, please like, comment, and subscribe and help us get to 200 subscribers.
We hit 193, so 7 more. We're almost there. Before we continue, though, we dropped, like we hinted on Thursday's episode, we dropped 3 straight guest pods. Friday, and NFL with Nick Shook of NFL.com. Banger pod was after Thursday Night Football. Shout out to Nick for staying up late because he was on the East Coast. And so check that one out. We just recapped the league. The trade deadline's approaching, so we'll be talking about that, but we talked a little bit over there. Saturday, NHL podcast from ESPN, Greg Wyshynski. He's a senior ESPN writer and a podcast host of The Drop with Arda Okel. We talked pretty much early reactions to the NHL season. You know, we bantered a bit Canada versus USA, Olympic/World Cup of hockey stuff because he's American. And we bantered with that, so make sure you guys check that out. And today, at the time I was recording today, but Sunday, we dropped our another guest pod, a good friend of ours, Pardeep Bains, just sharing his journey. He's a fitness trainer, his early soccer career and why he stopped, etc. We're not going to go too much into it, but
and his love of basketball.
So we actually talked a lot of ball in that one at the end, which we could have carried on more and more if we didn't just stop ourselves. But yeah, so all 3 banger episodes. Go check all 3 of them, all of 3 of their stuff out. It's already on the YouTube and audio platforms. So make sure you guys download it if you're audio and like those videos and comment your opinions as well. While you're at it, subscribe. And
exactly. And yeah, follow our Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter for more content there. And also, if you're audio, check that out as well. We're on all audio platforms. But
if you're audio, make sure you come over to the YouTube and subscribe.
Exactly, do that too. And vice versa. But before we get to the podcast, like the sports stuff, we're going to start off with some sad news.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad that we have to do this almost like on a weekly basis now, I think.
Yeah.
Adam Johnson, former NHL player, played a couple of games with the Pittsburgh Penguins, but passed away. And so rest in peace to Adam Johnson. How he passed away, he was playing over in England, Nottingham Panthers. Freak accident, skate to the neck, right? So we've seen a lot of skate incidents, but I'm sure it probably cut a certain part of the vein or something.
You see some skate to the eyes.
Yeah.
Like in the NHL as well, but skate to the neck obviously is very dangerous.
Yeah.
It's basically a knife to the neck. And it was just a freak accident and very unfortunate. And
he was 29 years old.
Yeah, it's very young as well.
Yeah, so rest in peace, Adam Johnson, and condolences to... before I finish off the condolences to his family and his teammate, friends. He played his NHL with the Pittsburgh Penguins and spent some time in the AHL as well. And hey, one thing he could say for sure before the sudden passing, and may God rest his soul, he scored an NHL goal. So ultimately, everyone's dream is not just to be in the NHL and to do something, and he's done something. So
yeah,
we didn't watch much of him, so we can't comment too much. But yeah, major news to wake up. Very big sad news to wake up to in the morning. So rest in peace to Adam Johnson. Now a little hard of a transition. Let's move over. Let's go NFL. You want, because it is Sunday night here.
It's Sunday.
So we will get into the World Series, don't worry. Because there's only 2 games done for that. But NFL, let's just get right into it. Thursday Night Football, off the bat.
Obviously, some of the reaction was on the Nick Shook podcast.
Yeah.
With the Bills reaction. But quick R points. Bills, yes, they got the win. But like always, they don't do it. They make it tough on themselves.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, most inconsistent team in football, right? I'm a full Josh Allen fan, and I want him to do good.
I picked him for MVP, even though I'm not a big guy.
But at the end of the day, I just feel like the turnovers. It's just simple as that, right? Just the turnovers. And then obviously injuries as well, where this team just can never get over the hump.
Do you believe in curses? Yeah, because like it's funny because when I told Nick that I picked the Bills to win it and Josh Allen to win MVP because of last year, he's like, that was your biggest mistake because he did that for the year before.
Yeah.
Going into last year. And the one point that you brought up and he brought up was the run game. And now that I'm looking at the Colts with Zach Moss, you can't tell me Zach Moss wasn't a capable back for them.
100%.
So it's either, like I said, it's either they didn't design enough run plays properly to protect for him.
Their O-line isn't great.
Yeah, that or they just didn't design properly.
That is the main number one.
The fact that you traded him away for Nyheim Hines.
Yeah.
So, and he had Devin Singletary.
Zach Moss is up there, like, killing it this season.
Yeah.
And he was on your team. The O-line is an issue. You can't run block properly. You can't open up lanes, right? James Cook, to be fair, isn't really rushing to the James Cook in college, right? Nyheim Hines wasn't used much last year. Obviously, he's injured this year. And then you have Latavius Murray. They're capable backs. It's just that they're not getting utilized properly. And also with the run game, it helps closes out games as well, right? So that's why kind of, the Giants game, the Tampa Bay game, and I don't know if there was, I think those were two ones where like they were close. Those games, the Giants and Tampa Bay shouldn't have had chances to tie the game or win the game. Yeah,
they're a polarizing team for sure, right? Because like after the Miami game, everybody's like, "Oh, Josh Allen's probably MVP," which NFL season on drugs this year.
It is drugs,
right? We're gonna get into it because our power rankings is gonna be probably different this time from both of us in terms of different teams being added and just how the landscape has changed in literally a week. And ultimately though, they're a polarizing team in that sense. Like I still believe they're a Super Bowl caliber team.
There's one thing that just came across my mind recently. Remember the stretch where Josh Allen beat the Patriots and lost their Chiefs in the playoffs?
Yeah, they shot the Patriots out, I think, and then
9 touchdown passes to 0 interceptions in that playoff run.
Yeah.
That was the best Josh Allen I've seen.
What the difference was?
I'm saying he was better those 2 game stretches than he was in his MVP third year. Like, I would say he was better there. I feel like him playing so good that time and not getting it done kind of affected him. Like, we're like, okay, he has to go even more Superman mode, which is obviously which is gonna high risk, high reward. Turnovers. Yeah.
Brian Dable, Ken Dorsey.
As well,
which is what I brought up. But again, we're not going to go too much into this. We talked about the Bills on the next Shook pod. We're going to be promoting all 3 pods heavily.
Exactly.
Or the NHL and the NFL one heavily.
And flip side, Tampa Bay. No. I think they're coming back down to earth, right?
They are back down to earth.
Lost two in a row now. Falcons they kind of needed that one. They didn't pull through. And obviously Bills, they were supposed to lose against the Bills. And they eventually did. But I don't think they're down and out yet. But it's gonna take some work now.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the biggest story first before we get to the Colts because we didn't preview like we always would, but we have our reactions to that. But the biggest story, Carolina got the first win. Bryce Young, number 1 overall pick, beat the number 2 overall pick.
So a while back, we're like, who will they lose to? And I said they're playing Texans and Colts back to back.
Yeah.
I feel like they could beat one of those teams, and I'm hoping it wasn't the Colts. So thank you, Texans, for taking that pressure away from us.
So it's, we both picked Carolina to win this, but in our fantasy pick comes with their family. But yeah, CJ Stroud didn't have like a good game to how he has started. Like I consider his stat line like a normal rookie stat line.
Yeah.
But not to what he's been doing. Whereas Bryce Young's obviously O-line's an issue, got six sacks. 6 times sacked, and then but 235 yards, 22 out of 31 completion with 1 TD, and was the only TD the whole game because no one also rushed for one.
You know who's the MVP of that team, or the offense, is Adam Thielen. Them signing Adam Thielen obviously kind of
there's a reason
makes
why
him a little bit capable.
I thought they would be decent because and we brought again we're gonna allude to Nick Shook a lot, because I brought it up to him like, well, is it a surprise to you? He's like, yeah, surprise not winning a game, but like I kind of see it. But he's like, they would be better because their coaching staff is elite, right? They added the former QB who Houston was rumored to
McCown.
Yeah,
Josh McCown
as a QB coach. Frank Reich obviously is showing that maybe
he meant that his time might be up as a head coach. Yeah,
and whoever else they had in the coaching staff, adding names like Adam Thielen, on the offensive side. On the defensive side, they have had some Brian Burns, right? They had a bunch of pieces.
But it wasn't enough. Also, he alluded to the play of Bryce Young was like compared to CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud, he's like is more of a quarterback, stay in the pocket, make the throws,
make the right decision.
Whereas Bryce Young is gonna do the playmaking himself, right? Where he's gonna create with his improvise.
Also because his O-line is not great.
Exactly. That's at the end of the day, O-line is the biggest factor in like a lot of things to get offenses going, because at the end of the day, they gotta protect your quarterback. They help with the run game.
Yeah, we're not gonna go through every game. The other 2 games,
but
outside of the Colts, are gonna go over 2 more games based on what I'm looking.
I feel like since we just talked about rookies,
that's what I was gonna go into. Yeah.
Will Levis,
Tennessee Titans. Ryan Tannehill injured, so they played Will Levis and Malik Willis didn't throw a ball. He was there for 2 rushes, only quarterback rushes. But Will Levis, who was supposed to be the package was Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson, and Will Levis. Arguably, all 4 guys going in the top 10 was an argument at one point. To the point, if Houston did not trade up, the Colts may have been ending up with Will Levis. But he ended up falling out of the first round. Was his first pick or the second pick in the second round?
I think it was second.
I think because Joey Porter Jr. went first. And Tennessee, who drafted Malik Willis the year before, now drafted Will Levis. And, question marks on college, obviously. But one thing's for sure, he has an arm. And that was his biggest strength. Whereas Anthony Richardson has an arm, but with more athleticism. Debut, now I don't know how much of this is Atlanta not game planning properly for him, because they don't really know much of him in the NFL level. But insane debut, 4 touchdown passes.
0 interceptions. Sacked twice, 19 for 29 for 238 yards. Hat trick for DeAndre Hopkins, whose 4 receptions were 3 of them were touchdowns. When you're a rookie quarterback, it is always a good idea to throw to your number 1 guy. That's point 1. Point 2, Will Levis, like we said, he has a cannon of arm, right? He's obviously in a little bit of the older side of the rookies. I think he's like around 24, 23.
22, 23? 23.
Yeah, I think he's like
23 or 24, because I think Anthony Richardson was the youngest. He was 20 when he was drafted.
20, yeah. But Will Levis, like he
21 now, I think.
He's proven in his first game, like even I'm pretty sure the Titans are surprised themselves like this happened. And Atlanta defense was a capable defense, right? It's not like he did against like a Chargers defense.
Well, even worse than that.
Yeah, exactly. But they got the ball to DeAndre Hopkins. That's what they weren't doing in the obviously in the beginning. Then it helps when you have that guy and he had a game himself, and DeAndre Hopkins kind of maybe upped his trade value as well.
True. Nothing much to say. Let's see how he does. The question is consistency in college, and let's see his consistency now.
If I don't know what Tannehill's injury is, but is Will Levis the starter for the rest of the season?
Let me see what his injury is first, but I think it should be. Like that division is 6-2 Jaguars. Everybody else is 3-4. Let me pull it up quickly, but like the question was his consistency, but I think he should be just given a shot. Roster, Tannehill, ankle injury, so we have no clue.
So we don't know, but like in general, Will Levis should start every single game, no matter what happens, for the Tennessee Titans. If they want
at least one more, and then we'll see what happens.
Because Malik Willis wasn't developed properly because he was just thrown into the fire last year.
Yeah,
as much as he didn't play well,
he
was kind of thrown into a fire.
So guess what?
Thrown into it.
I don't know if Tannehill plays because they're on a short week. They're playing Pittsburgh. So they're playing a better defense too now.
That's a good test.
So they're playing a better defense. He's not going downgrade on the defense.
And then one of the issues in college was consistency.
Yeah. Can
he bounce back? Not bounce back. Can he continue this?
Yeah.
We'll find out on Thursday.
Okay. Sorry.
Colts?
A COVID vaccine thing popped up on my
I got that too, notification like a couple
Colts
days ago.
We'll end off on the Colts before we go to Monday Night
All right.
But let's just talk about our collective disappointing performance of the week.
We're going to do that right now? No,
yeah.
Okay,
it's a collective, so we don't have to bring it up on Thursdays. Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, 100%.
After having a dominant performance, but on the Chargers, and as Jobin liked to say it, and he took offense to when I accidentally said your disappointment was the Denver Broncos with Nick Shuck.
Bro, yeah.
If you lose to that, and I think we released this clip or no, I'm not sure if this is the clip we released on Instagram.
Yeah, if whatever team loses to the Denver Broncos is the disappointment of the week.
And hey, Broncos are 3-5 now. But yeah, Chiefs 24-9 got an ass whooping. 0 points in the second half. I hate to say it. I'm gonna just jokingly say it because I know people are gonna hate me. She was not there. I'm kidding, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah.
The Broncos fans trolled them by playing Taylor Swift songs after.
I mean, they were gonna get that. Yeah. It would have been more stupid if they didn't.
Yeah.
Right. Simple. We're like, oh yo, the Chiefs are back. No, not
this
anymore.
Is what I mean with the NFL season on drugs.
That's exactly what it is.
Now, can this just be a simple thing like when the Colts beat the Chiefs last year, but that was early on?
Yeah, but like they still played well.
Yeah.
The Chiefs. It's not like the Colts had incredible amount of luck to beat the Chiefs. Right? Obviously, I remember there was a Chris Jones freaking unnecessary roughness penalty or something like that, or unsportsmanlike conduct, where like they gave like Colts 15 yards just to get the game-winning touchdown.
Jelani Woods.
Yeah.
Or Alec Pierce, I don't even know.
Jelani Woods. That's where Jelani Woods emerged. But yeah, no, the Chiefs, like they're definitely lacking a wide receiver. Simple as that. They got to be targeting one for sure.
He's sitting in Tennessee right now.
Exactly.
I've said that before from the beginning.
There could be one sitting in Denver, one of the two with Sutton and Judy.
They're not going to trade in division.
Who knows?
I mean, yeah, true. Sometimes Hawkinson, but
sometimes you're like so bad that like you just wanna. Probably your best price could be in division.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, collective. Nothing much to say. I didn't watch much of the game because it was your soccer game, but
our soccer game was on drugs too.
True.
Well, not my soccer game.
Yeah, because ours was different.
Yeah. Ours was disappointing.
Last thing I want to get off my chest before the Colts, and I'll probably talk about it more on Thursday, but I'm pissed because of the picks. Cleveland and the Giants had it in the bag. Could have gone 2 points there. Somehow PJ Walker throws a interception on 3rd and 3 with like 2 minutes to go.
Love to see that.
Because
I picked the Seahawks.
And then the Giants, I know you love to see this too.
Love to see that too.
Graham Gano misses a field goal late. Somehow get offside. Stop the clock as well. With when Zach Wilson is going down the field. Gets the 2-3 plays. Gets the field goal.
Game time field goal.
And then overtime. Dumb PI penalties. And yeah. So screw you guys. That's it.
Yeah. Jets are a winning record by now. Hurry up, sneeze.
Yeah.
Bless you. Jets are a winning record, 4-3.
Yeah, it's like
Zach Wilson said himself after game, offensively we got to be better.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's like what Nick said perfectly when you asked him.
About
defense
Zach
will
Wilson.
help.
Yeah.
Defense will
obviously good defense. But one thing, they need to get Breece Hall the ball more. That is one thing because this guy got a rushing touchdown, but I don't know how many carries did he have.
He didn't get a rushing touchdown.
He didn't, or a receiving touchdown. What's his?
So you got 12 rushes and then 6.
That's not enough.
12 rushes and 9.
When he has someone that good in the backfield, you have to get him, and obviously you're relying on your defense. You got to give him at least.
It was 12 rushes for 17 yards.
20 to 25 rushes per game.
Yeah, 12 rushes for 17 yards. It was Zach Wilson who led them in rushing, but
that can't happen.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on though. We'll talk about this.
One more thing before the Colts.
Okay.
And Saints. The Bengals might be back.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously they look healthier. Their last 3 games they won. They obviously beat the Cardinals where Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase were cooking. Seahawks was like they found a way to win at the end of the day, but like it was kind of like a mad game. And again, they bounced back today. Jamar Chase got a touchdown. Joe Burrow looked like Joe Burrow, and they beat a good defense in the San Francisco 49ers, who might be a little bit concerning right now.
Brock Purdy, is he what I said he was when we were debating in the beginning of the year? I don't know how much of that head injury is there. Maybe he should have not played. I know he cleared it. So I don't know. Again, I don't know the effects of someone else's body.
I don't know how to like judge it. Obviously, when you look at it from one side,
he's just missing Debo. That's it.
When you look at it from one side, okay, yeah, system quarterback, injured weapon. You kind of see the fall off. But when you look at the other side, this is his first real adversity that he's facing, as well.
Yeah, because I turned it on at your game on the zone on my phone, and the way that pick, I don't know if it was like a strip pick where he just like,
I saw that one.
It was that, like, it was, they were in the red zone,
and then next
he faked the play, and instead of, I don't know what he did, something happened, and then it would turn out to be Bengals ball, and I'm like, all right, that's it, that's over.
I'm not gonna say Brock Purdy is the best quarterback to play in that Shanahan 49ers offense.
I mean, I'd love to see Sam Darnold now, but
no, it's still like Brock Purdy has earned enough respect.
Oh no, I agree with that, because this is now, he's literally on a 3-game regular.
And this is the first time facing adversity. But I think they're putting too much on Brock Purdy right now.
Yeah,
exactly. Like,
but
they gotta get they gotta get him back. Try to get the ball out of his hands a little bit. Try to get the quarterback friendliness back, because I think ever since the Dallas game, Brock Purdy's been like, I think utilized more, whereas like McCaffrey guys might be utilized less. Oh my God.
The thing now is Seattle's half a game up, 5-2 to 5-3 now, right? So I'm gonna talk about Seattle on Thursday mainly, just because like their offense is not good. Geno's not looking like last year's Geno, and defensively though is heavily carrying them. But let's go on to the Colts, because we forgot to preview that game against the Saints, and then that was one of my disappointing teams I brought up to Nick, and he check out the podcast. I'm gonna keep promoting it, I don't care. He labeled it beautifully, Saints fans, that's the perfect one to listen to before this game happened. Essentially he was just saying, like, Derek Carr might have been cooked,
might not be that guy,
is always check down, not hitting the deep ball properly, O-line ain't the greatest, blah, and their defense is carrying, right? This game, this is we're gonna allude some Man United related things with Shane Steichen in this game specifically. I know it's his first year head coach, and he's, like Nick said, he's a huge fan. I'm fine with the game planning. My biggest concern with Shane Steichen, we lost the game, obviously you could tell by reaction. Shane Steichen is not having the adjustments / clock management is a little different story, but like the adjustments,
it's just the in-game adjustments.
It's
on paper, Saints should win this game.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially,
we've said it many times that the Saints should be like a team. I'm not saying they're the third best team in the conference, but their record on paper should be at least a second or third best team in the conference, based on how easy their schedule and division is too.
Not second. We'll say like
no. I mean, like on paper though. Like at the end of the day, it's the Tennessee Titans from 2-3 years ago when they won the conference.
But
that's like, that version. Like I'm saying
the Eagles, the Niners.
You didn't get what I'm saying. I'm saying the Eagles and the Cowboys and the Niners are better than them.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, did you think the Tennessee Titans from a couple of years ago was the best team record-wise? They were the best team record-wise. I'm saying record-wise, that's what I expect the Saints to be. Still be decent enough to be.
I still expect to be like third or fourth, just because.
I don't, because their division's so easy. That's all. And they had an easy, like for example,
third
this
or fourth still. The Eagles and Niners are too good to do that, obviously.
I said they should be up there arguing for a first, second, third spot.
Yeah,
for sure.
I didn't see that.
But they are overall third, fourth team.
Getting back to the game, when you're playing the Colts secondary, you better be throwing the ball long. You better not be checking down to Kamara all game. And
they did it.
They didn't. Like Derek Carr had his best, I would say, game. Obviously, granted, it helps when
Taysom Hill just gets the ball and runs.
Not that. I'm saying granted when it helps when Tony Brown is getting absolutely cooked by every single Saints receiver that he guarded, and I think he allowed 137 yards and a passing touchdown, like Tony Brown himself.
Yeah.
Juju Brents was injured, and we'll talk a little bit more Saints right now.
This is what I expected all year.
I projected the offensive to get carried over by the fourth quarter against Jags, and that's exactly what happened. Obviously, they answered back after the Colts two touchdowns, right? 7-0, 7-7, 14-14, you know how it goes. And they just didn't look back from there. Whereas it took their defense time, a little bit, up until halftime, to pick it up. And then second half, their defense took over a little bit, where the Colts offense couldn't do much. And their Saints offense was just cooking the Colts defense all game.
Yeah, simple as that. The Saints defense figured it out. That's all it was. Like the first couple of drives were like, okay.
I would say it took them a half. Yeah, it took them a half to figure it out.
Yeah. Colts. Jonathan Taylor should not be getting one carry in the second half. If your excuse was Zach Moss got the big run, well,
Taylor
last week JT had the big run and he didn't.
It's not even that. In game, Taylor had 90 yards.
Yeah.
After like the first two drives.
And then The Tony Brown, like he said he was fine with Tony Brown at the beginning of the game and how he did practice. The question is in game. That's how we had a chance to go down and tie the game potentially on a 2-point conversion as well, touchdown with a 2-point conversion, but he got cooked.
Press coverage as well,
right? So
like, why are you in
Gus? Like, I don't know. Obviously, Gus makes the decisions on the defensive side, and like I said, Gus. I understand how good the Colts defense has been last year, and I praised them this year. But that's what meaning on the pass rush side of things.
But at the
end to the point where I think you need to blitz a little bit more because I'm not sold on Gus.
Exactly.
Fully sold on Gus.
Yes, honestly, eye test. Colts defense have done some incredible plays.
Grover shorts out too. But
look at the numbers.
They aren't the greatest.
They aren't the greatest. Like, you genuinely need to watch this defense play to see, like, okay, they're having a good game. Because they're not producing any interceptions or pass deflections or all that stuff. All the numbers is based on sacks, which is Colts are up there in.
If Eberflus gets fired, come back home.
Yeah, exactly.
He got the best out of Shaq. Obviously, this is helping. Obviously, DeForest Buckner's on a tear right now. He's trying to prove that he is the second best DT tackle in the league. Obviously, after Aaron Donald, but like Shaq, Zaire Franklin helps too.
Chris Jones is there too.
I know, but I'm just trying to prove that he is gonna be the second guy again. But yeah, no, like for me, it's like I said, we're gonna go when we talk about Man United later on. A lot of Eric Ten Hag-esque where we believe in both of them heavily. Rosters are flawed heavily. Injuries heavily. Everything's the same, but they still need to take the blame on, I guess, Gus more because he's the defensive coordinator. But he oversees the stuff, and he should be like, no, we gotta take out Tony Brown.
But one difference is Colts put up
another 20-point game.
Colts put up another 20-point game.
On the top defenses, by the way.
Yeah.
Top defenses, by the way, and we're 0-2 out of those top 2 defenses.
Exactly. And Colts are more competitive in games.
Yeah.
So
it's not fun to watch. Actually, no, I take that back slightly because it's Gardner Minshew. But watching Gardner Minshew is more of a roller coaster fun, whereas Anthony Richardson was fun just because we know we had no expectations.
But at the end of the day, like, this is a dub for us.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Like, we're not getting shit kicked like we did last year with Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
With Gardner Minshew, without Gardner Minshew, right? We're in every game. We're competitive. We're competing, right? Steichen has this locker room, won over already. So with all that, like, it's just development at this rate. Downs is having a good year, a rookie year. Pittman's on a contract year himself. Defense, some players are making plays. Zaire Franklin, DeForest Buckner, Jonathan Taylor, Zach Moss. Like, players are producing. It's just that, like, one mistake here, one Gardner Minshew strip sack here, one Tony Brown getting cooked by Rashid Shaheed play there, and we lose a game. It's not like we're losing games because we're getting outclassed. We're losing games because we're making stupid mistakes at the most stupidest times.
I understand we're losing, but you got to run the ball more with JT as well. You gave him a contract for a reason, all right? And he showed flashes of what he could do from 2021. We're the 8th worst odds, though. We're technically 2 games off the worst, but I don't expect Arizona to do much. Carolina's at 1-6 now. New England, I expected them to be better. But 3-5, we have, I guess, tiebreaker on Denver. And there's that. But no, speaking of the draft, Chris Ballard. Right, last year, he was incompetent with the O-line situation. Now, he addressed that proper in a way. Ryman obviously helps when he develops. Cornerbacks, though. You can't be relying on, even when Juju's back, you can't be relying on 2 rookies.
Yeah.
Right, at the end of the day, like, as good as Juju's doing, he's doing good in the
Jalen Jones doing good too.
He's doing good in terms of tackling and breaking up plays, but he ain't getting
other than the Jacksonville game, which is not even that terrible.
But again, my point is he's a rookie and now he's injured.
I know.
There's no way so we're gonna get to the trade deadline soon. They need to go after cornerback, a veteran cornerback. I don't know who's available, whether you could sign someone or you could trade for someone cheap. But if Pat Surtain is available, I'm willing to give up like 2 firsts. I don't care.
I'm willing to get anything for Pat Surtain, for sure.
But yeah.
When it ultimately comes down to it, you have cornerback and wide receiver. We both agree cornerback is more needy.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you agree with this. We need to draft a wide receiver and sign a cornerback. Because we can't have another young cornerback. We need a guy.
The only way I'll take a young cornerback is if it's in the first round. Like, we see Devin Witherspoon, how good he's doing. We saw Christian Gonzalez, Sauce Gardner, right? I don't know how Stingley's doing, but if Kool-Aid McKinstry is that elite, then I'm drafting him.
Yeah.
But I'm not betting on like a second, third round thing. Now, I guess, like Nick Shook says, when he goes to the draft, you have to see the whole thing, which is Chris Ballard's elite thing. Ergo,
Zaire Franklin in the 7th.
No, not even just the corner. Jalen Jones
in the 7th.
And Rodney Thomas, right? So that's his eliteness. But I agree with you. I would rather sign a... Honestly, for both positions, I'd rather sign a vet at this point.
I don't mind signing a... No, I would rather draft wide receiver. Reason being, Pittman's a vet. We don't need a vet.
Yeah, but I'd rather have someone like an elite guy that makes Pittman like a number 2.
Yeah,
that's what I want. Like if Devontae Adams is available for trade next year, go get him. That's my opinion. I know they're not going to do it. It's the Colts.
Yeah, but when you're looking at it this way,
same thing with cornerback. I would rather go get a vet.
Yeah.
For both positions, I want to go get a vet and draft a wide receiver. Unless you're named Marvin. Unless you're named Marvin Harrison Jr.
I see it less for wide receiver. I see it more clearly for cornerback.
I just want an elite guy. If Marvin Harrison Jr. is there, I want that type of guy then, because we have no separation.
Exactly,
I don't care what everybody says. Pittman ain't that guy where he could be the number 1 on his own.
Pace.
So either get a pace guy or an elite route runner. No, I don't know how much Jerry Jeudy will be that guy for elite route running and getting open, but like a guy like Devontae Adams, I'll take.
Yeah, elite
now, I'm not saying we will get Devontae Adams. I'm saying I want that type of guy then that will separate from the draft.
But if I were to pick one, I would draft wide receiver and sign a corner.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
For me, I don't even care. Yes, draft both for depth for later rounds, but I would.
No, I'm like
for cornerback 1 and wide receiver 1.
We have 1 first round pick. I would rather draft a wide receiver than a cornerback, and I would rather sign a cornerback.
I'll just take.
I don't know who's available. I'm
taking best player available. If it's first round, I'm taking best player available at any position except quarterback and running back. But in terms of the actual positions of need that get drafted early, best player available, it could be an edge rusher for all I care about.
Yeah, no, but we're focusing on the 2 top needs.
Yeah,
that's what
cornerbacks 1, wide receivers 2.
We're focusing on the needs. I'm not focusing on edge rusher and all that stuff. I'm just focusing on the needs.
On the 2 needs, I'm at the point where...
What would you do? You have to pick one. Pick one. Sign wide receiver or draft wide receiver. This year, what would your first round pick? What would you do?
Whoever is the best player available from the corner or the wide receiver. I'm taking it.
Pick one. What would you rather do right now? Like, that's what I'm trying to get the answer. You're doing the political answer like Pradeep.
Well, I have to because I'm genuinely...
No, say the real answer. Pick one.
If Kool-Aid McKinstry is available over Keon Coleman, I'm drafting Kool-Aid McKinstry. If Marvin Harrison Jr. is somehow dropping...
man.
I'm not... I told you my answer. I want both vets for both positions.
Okay, let's move on. I'm not getting this answer out of you. But
my answer is I want vets for both positions.
Bob, I was telling you just pick one and whatever.
Best player available. I don't care about the position.
I don't like the answer. But because I give you my decision.
Fine, wide receiver. I agree with you. Happy?
Okay, yeah. Like that's all you.
It's the tough one for me. I don't care though. Like if Kool-Aid McKinstry is better
prospect,
if Kool-Aid McKinstry is a better prospect than Keon Coleman from FSU, then I'm taking Kool-Aid McKinstry. Though.
Yeah, I get that point, but I just wanted you to answer the question. I didn't want any of this. I wanted you to answer the question, but you weren't answering. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know how to answer it though. That was the thing.
I said, would you? What do you mean? How do you?
Would I rather? It depends on the prospect.
Okay, let's move on.
I'm not doing no Jake Vertanen or Oli Ulevi bullshit from the Canucks. I know we need a defenseman.
Let's move on. Monday night football.
Boring. Lions, if you lose, you suck.
Exactly. Lions, if you lose, you suck because I don't think
that's how bad it is.
Raiders.
Yeah. Josh McDaniels gone at the end of the year, probably.
Should be, yeah. Exactly.
Lions by 10. I don't know.
Yeah, my pick's the Lions. Easy.
I'll go by 10 now.
And you need a bounce back win after the
Ravens
butt whooping you got with the Ravens.
And hey, you need this win because the Vikings are on your heels now. Oh, Vikings, get well soon. Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Poor Achilles, I believe. And
Vikings quarter.
So now
they're back to 4-4, but like obviously massive
now
loss
we don't know. Yeah. I don't know who's available for them, who's their backup, but
first for Gardner Minshew. Exactly.
But I'm not gonna go too much into it. It's just a bounce back game for the Lions, and prove your way if you want me to consider you in our top 5 power rankings because it's tough right now.
All right, last topic for NFL trade deadline.
Okay, so preseason, we've said names like Cooper Kupp, which I don't think is going to happen.
Not happening.
Devontae Adams, I still believe can happen. I know the Raiders said no.
It's not happening.
But like, I don't think a big name will get traded. But I'm looking at the Saints. Sorry, not the Saints.
I'm looking at
the Broncos players, and I'm looking at the Panthers players, and I'm looking at the Titans players, especially if you're going to ride with Will Levis. See who's available. Hey.
I'm looking at one now. One player that is a big player that could get traded.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Daniil Hunter.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, he's on the block for sure.
Because the Vikings lost their quarterback and their wide receiver.
Yeah.
So they're 4-4.
Well, they already announced that they're trying to trade him out of the...
Yeah, but they're 4-4, but they're not... They're going to fall off.
Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, Daniil Hunter aside, because I think reports are he will probably get traded.
Yeah,
Again,
no, but like I'm just saying
happened.
the situation now obviously makes it more like
yeah,
he's
no,
the number one
sure.
guy to get
because
traded.
Here's the thing. Reports are also, before we get into the Broncos and what the Colts should do and who they could trade away, Chase Young, Montez Sweat, I think is
in Washington. Yeah,
they're saying one of them is most likely to get moved. One of them will probably get the extension.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm looking at that. Hey, and I'm down to trade for Chase Young. In general, I've seen Colts pages say like, hey, if Chase Young for a second and a third, we'll do it.
Exactly. So, I mean,
for depth purposes, it's football. All right,
it is football.
Look at a cornerback, and for cornerback, I don't know who the best guy available will be to trade. Man, I miss Stephon Gilmore, but yeah. So there's that.
I don't think there's anyone to really waste your time on other than.
I'm gonna pull up the trade big
other
board
than Pat Surtain. I don't think we should go.
Pat Surtain's not getting traded too either.
I don't. At the end of the day, like we're not a competitive team, so we're not going to be really buying as well, right? Our situation is, I don't think we're going to be selling. We're just going to stay neutral. Like we're not even a seller because we have nothing to sell.
Because we don't have. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Unless someone requests a trade in the middle, like how Naeem Hines did, that we don't know for the.
But that's something minor, right? As well. Like,
well, no, because I was thinking a guy like because Kenny Moore is getting called, but because I think Philly called or someone called. They're saying reports that Philly ain't done. They're trying to go for a linebacker. I'm not saying something in general. Howie is gonna freaking finesse something. On the flip side, the only name that comes to my mind that I could see getting traded, but I don't think he might is DeForest Buckner, depending on the offer. That's it.
I don't see it. I just don't think so. Right, especially
so
guys
all the latest rumblings.
Especially a guy playing top level like Buckner is right now. I don't think he gets traded. Did you pull it up yet?
2 days ago from NBC Sports, 10 names to watch ahead of the NFL trade deadline. Derrick Henry, Kirk Cousins is off the list. Even
he's off the list.
Derrick Henry, but again, I saw a tweet
that they're trying to keep him. DeAndre
Hopkins is on this list. I could see him on the move, and I'm Kansas City. I'm making a call.
100% making a call.
Anyone call, right?
Anyone. If I'm Detroit, I'm making a call.
Because I won't be surprised if he gets bought out in the offseason either.
Yeah, who knows? But if I'm Detroit, I'm making a call. If I'm Kansas City, I'm making a call. And those are two probably big ones for me.
Saquon Barkley, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's too much drama there. Any other names?
Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, Jerry Jeudy's been on there.
Obviously, Colts were heavily linked, but Diana Rossini also tweeted, the Broncos are not having a fire sale at the trade line, but they will listen to offers, including Patrick Surtain.
So, yeah.
Daniil Hunter, you mentioned.
This is what a deadline.
Brian Burns.
This is what a deadline dries out because not many teams usually have a fire sale.
Brian Burns.
Yeah, Panthers aren't looking great. Brian Burns is the best defensive player. I think he's looking to get paid as well. I'm pretty sure.
All right, we mentioned Chase Young already.
Hasn't done.
Chase Young, I still thought they should have given him the 5th year.
Yeah, they should have taken the option. That was a stupid decision.
Dalvin Cook not getting touches, obviously, but nothing really is gonna get done there. Hunter Renfrow from the Raiders, and I think that was the last one. So yeah, I mean, then other names we threw out were Devontae Adams, which I don't think is happening now.
No.
Cooper Kupp, which ain't gonna happen now. From like the weaker teams, like I said, just look at Broncos.
Mike Evans.
Who does the Marquise Brown?
I don't think Mike Evans get traded either.
Yeah, I had Mike Evans on that list. I don't think he does because he doesn't have a contract. So does it surprise me if he gets traded?
Like nobody really gets.
I won't be surprised if he gets traded, but
it's
I don't think
it's not the NBA, right?
Yeah,
it's not the NBA.
But the problem is Mike Evans is out of a contract.
Yeah, but
and if he says I ain't gonna sign, and I guess to fair play to them, they have a chance to make the playoffs because their division's so bad. But like I said, the Chiefs, ring.
But like I was saying, it's not the NBA. This shit never really happens much.
Yeah.
But
we had a big NFL trade deadline last year, so let's see if it carries over this year. That's the thing.
What were the moves last year?
TJ Hawkinson was the big one.
Yeah.
That was the biggest one. I know there were some other kind of moves that happened. Chase Claypool.
Roquan Smith was one. Roquan Smith was one, and Bradley Chubb was the other.
So there were big names last year.
Yeah,
so like this year's equivalent to that could be Mike Evans. It could be for Bradley Chubb. It could be Chase Young or Montez Sweat, whoever, or Daniil Hunter. And like a cornerback.
But yeah, the one thing I would guarantee is a Danielle Hunter trade.
You're guaranteeing it.
Like, if I were to pick one person to get traded, it would be Danielle Hunter.
I think Washington will trade one of those guys.
Okay, yeah. But let's move on to the World Series. And game 1 of the World Series.
Man, oh man, was fun.
It was intense. The Diamondbacks had a 5-3 lead going into the 9th with their closer Paul Sewald on the mound. Chances are when you have Paul Sewald in the game, you won the game. But obviously, there's gonna be those off times where you're facing Seager.
I mean, to your point, it happens to Mariano.
Yeah, when you're facing like a lineup with Seager, Simeon, Garcia, something's bound to happen at one point, and it did happen where Corey Seager hit a 2-run shot to tie the game and force it into extras, where Adolis Garcia's
bottom
run continues.
Of the 11th, Adolis Garcia comes on the mound or the batter's box and crushes one, and it's Adolis Garcia. So
the legend grows of Adolis
Garcia. Sets the record for most RBIs in a single postseason at 22 with that home run.
Yeah, exactly. Another piece of history.
Ketel Marte
is on an 18-game playoff hitting streak.
To start his playoff, I don't know if it started.
Every game he played in his playoffs career, he has a hit.
So that means that is literally his first 18 games.
Exactly. So that's a thing to watch. And that Arizona tied the game in game 2.
Tied the series
in game 2 with Merrill Kelly's 7-inning monstrous performance.
Why doesn't it tell me who Max Scherzer versus Brandon Pfaadt.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious. Those are like the two.
I know, no. It usually says it like under here.
Yeah.
But I have to click on it.
No, you have to click on it for playoffs.
Yeah. Series tied 1-1. Literally today at 5 o'clock PST. I mean, the game will be on. You have to pay attention more than I can. And guess what? The Monday Night Football games might be ass, so go tune into this game.
Exactly.
You'll see the first game in Arizona World Series game since 2001 when they won it. Obviously, Texas is trying to win their first one. Like I said, I had Texas in 6. You have Zona in 7.
7, yeah.
So, yeah, that's our quick World Series Game 3 preview. Comment down below who do you think will win Game 3. I'll probably I'll try to remember to drop a YouTube poll.
Yeah, Scherzer versus Pfaadt. Young guy versus old guy.
Yeah.
Who's going to have the edge
Scherzer,
there? Yeah.
Let's see what you got, man.
And I don't think it's going to be like Game 7 where Scherzer's going to get pulled early. But you never know. I think they're going to try to like get some innings out of Scherzer here. And obviously, same thing. Brandon Pfaadt has been on an absolute tear these last 3 games. Game 7 against Philly. Game 3 against Philly. Absolute amazing performances there. So we'll see what happens there. But ultimately, it comes down to who's going to score more runs.
Yeah.
Would you pick? Who would you pick for Game 3?
Texas. They're away.
They're away.
They stole one from home. So technically, I could be on pace to get it right.
The thing is, Arizona has played well home.
Yeah.
Right. So for that reason, I'm going with Arizona. And what are you looking for?
No, I'm just looking if I'm missing any news. So we can move on to the next thing.
So quick World Series rundown there. Zona again, very surprising Cinderella story. And let's see if they pull it off. They should have been up.
As always, Blue Jays, screw you.
Gabby Moreno hit a home run.
Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna bring it up every time. If we could get a baseball or a Blue Jays guys, I'll bring it up then. I'm not letting this down because I was right.
Gabby Moreno was a mistake.
Yeah, I was right.
No, Gabby Moreno's not the mistake. Blue Jays trading Gabby Moreno was a mistake. Gabby Moreno's a legend. And we'll move on to some quick fire topics. And there was a boxing fight that happened on the weekend.
It was a big boxing fight, but then everybody kind of like wrote it off in a way because it wasn't like Mayweather McGregor promotion type thing. But eventually, when you look at the guest list, Cristiano Ronaldo, Brazilian Ronaldo, Eminem, Kanye, all the legendary boxers. You had Manny Pacquiao, obviously.
Usyk was there, obviously.
Usyk was hilarious.
Usyk's keeping a close eye on this
Usyk is hilarious. And then you got Conor McGregor there. You got various different people there, right, in Saudi. First of all, I don't know why Tommy Fury was in a legendary picture for some reason. It's dead center too, front and center.
It's like Tommy Fury and Ronaldo.
But it was Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou, professional bout for sure. 10 round though. And there's a lot of debate. Tyson Fury won the fight by split decision.
By a point.
Because the one round judge that gave him 96-93 was kind of BS. Everybody was saying that.
Yeah.
But everybody wrote off Francis Ngannou, including us. Right?
Exactly,
because
right. Like
he's fighting Tyson Fury.
He's the best guy in boxing
now.
Currently, obviously, you could argue Bud Crawford as the other guy.
Canelo.
And Canelo, yeah.
But no,
like, Tyson Fury's that guy.
So, when it came to this fight, Tyson Fury, we assumed was going to be the better boxer overall. Tyson Fury got knocked down. The only guys that have knocked down Tyson Fury are the power guys usually, a.k.a. Deontay Wilder. Now, the difference is, Tyson Fury took the Deontay Wilder fight way more serious than he did the Francis Ngannou fight, and you could tell because you don't see Tyson Fury got tired. And this was a 10-round fight. You don't see. If this fight went 2 more rounds, you could argue Ngannou could have knocked him out.
Exactly, and Ngannou was landing some pretty decent punches. He's proved that he could box with this fight for sure.
He had a boxing pass, and he said he wanted to be a professional boxer.
And to add to your point with the Fury not taking it serious, even though he was saying that Ngannou want you to take serious.
You could tell he didn't. He lied to me.
To add your point, Usyk versus Fury was scheduled for December 23, and now that's
it wasn't scheduled. There was an agreement. Now you could tell that. We'll get into that. We'll get into that in a second.
It was 1 month after their fight.
My point to that is you could tell that Fury was probably using this as a payday and as a sparring.
Exactly.
Set.
So I'm adding to your point.
Yeah.
Because of that, now there's coming a little bit of drama because the agreement date was 23. Usyk's like, no, the fight's got to be on 23. Fury's like, he's done for 2023. He's going to wait till next year. So obviously that's going to lead to a little bit of that. But you could tell, like, once that fight was scheduled at that day, that Ngannou was just going to be used as a sparring partner instead of an actual fight.
I would rather see it in the new year now because I want to see the best of both, right? Usyk might be playing like, oh yeah, you're hurt now. I would rather fight you now. I don't know how much.
It's not even that, but like, the initial agreement, like, I don't blame Usyk.
Yeah,
you initially agreed on the 23rd of December.
Yeah. When it comes to that, with the Fury. So, like, my point is this now. Francis Ngannou is going to be a boxer now for sure. Dana White is dumb for saying a lot of shit. Like, oh yeah, he could take on, or he's taking gimmick fights or whatever, but that guy has like BMF belts and all that stuff going on.
Yeah, exactly.
But my question to you is for Francis Ngannou, clearly surprised everybody with his boxing ability. Now, granted, you fight who you fight for, and I'm not taking anything away from Francis Ngannou because even Tyson Fury, that type of Tyson Fury, should be able to beat him at the end of the day.
100%.
It just happened that Tyson Fury wasn't his best. But that being said, I'm seeing tweets and from actual professionals, like Ariel Helwani was also saying that if this is a Ngannou we see, he and Styles make fights because at the end of the day, if Tyson Fury were to rematch and he was supposed to be Tyson Fury, I believe he'll stop him or at least outbox him for right? Because he was not jabbing or anything like that or putting his weight like he did on Wilder. Yeah. But Ngannou facing the other top heavyweights, they're saying that he could beat Deontay Wilder. I want to see that fight.
100%. Power versus power.
That one I want to see.
Both guys. Deontay Wilder got into boxing later, and like you said, Ngannou
has a huge story himself. If you look at his history,
and had a break in boxing, obviously with his UFC tenure as well. So power versus power. Both guys are knocked out.
Derek Chisora, guys like that as well.
And then both guys knocked down Tyson Fury, who was the best in the division. And
you could say like Wilder officially knocked him out in the very first fight.
So yeah, that's the one. That's my eyeing. I'm eyeing that one.
I still want to see Joshua Wilder first before that.
Before Joshua.
But I want to see Ngannou Wilder at one point because it's gonna be a money fight. Like you said, it's gonna be a knockout artist type of fight. I would love to see the full 12 even. I don't think we'll go 10 or 12. It shouldn't. But here's the thing. I am worried for Ngannou because if we've seen Wilder viciously knock everybody down. I'm not going to say out because Tyson Fury technically wasn't knocked out.
Yeah.
But the same thing could happen with Francis Ngannou if he gets clocked with one of those Wilder shots.
Exactly. The thing with Wilder Fury, it was like Wilder, yes, obviously it ended up like knockdowns, knockout, or technical KOs, right? But Wilder Fury are like, kind of more distant fights. Whereas Ngannou Wilder is like, okay, it's going to end at any moment and any round. It could be a 1 second fight. It could be a 1 second fight. It could be it could come down to the last second knockout.
There were fights of Wilder where he was like, you could tell he was losing to Luis Ortiz when I was watching it, and then it just took one punch and done.
Exactly, right? So,
okay, who did you think won the fight? Because I have a thing I'm gonna say, so I want to see what you said, and I want to see if you agree with what I'm gonna say. Because I'm gonna revert back to the Tommy Fury situation too as well.
I personally thought Ngannou should have had it.
Okay, so here's my take. Was this highway robbery? Maybe not.
No,
not highway. But Ngannou had more of a case than KSI did against Tommy Fury because he had the bigger shot, obviously the knockdown, and then obviously KSI had the point deduction. From Tommy had the point deduction.
Yeah.
But if you're supposed to be the baddest guy, the best boxer that you claim to be, and you do this performance, Ngannou should get the win. I don't care. At this point, you're protecting the Fury name. Same thing with KSI Tommy Fury. If you're the professional boxer...
If you're the boxer and you're fighting a YouTuber.
Yeah, and in this case, you're fighting an MMA fighter who's making his boxing debut against you. Not taking on guys like in the amateur ranks that were on like... Or the Olympic
or even
guys
like
or
the
whatever.
Smaller heavyweight names, right?
Yeah.
Or even like, honestly, even like, you know, like a Chisora.
Yeah.
Like,
or Dillian Fury. Or whoever.
A guy who's a tier on his own in that division.
Yeah. And you put that type of performance, I'm sorry, you don't deserve to be called the winner. Because you're the guy. And I'm not saying you have to knock him out, right? I'm not saying that at all.
Just win.
Just like, do what like Canelo did in his last
win
fights.
And win clearly.
Yeah.
Right? Because...
like how Shakur wins his fights.
Exactly, yeah.
When it comes to like decisions and all, Devin Haney, I know there was a controversy in the last Lomachenko one, but I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, in my opinion, in that case, I agree that Ngannou wins the fight. That's what I had KSI winning the fight. I had Ngannou winning this fight for that reason. Now, I'm not saying it's highway robbery but Tyson wasn't even throwing back, really.
Yeah.
So, that's the tough part. And I would love to see Ngannou face a top heavyweight again.
Like, I agree with what you said. I think Tommy Fury had more of a case of winning than Tyson Fury did. Or like you said it the other way, like Ngannou had more of a chance winning than KSI. Like more of a case winning than KSI.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. I just felt like the name came in, the Fury name came in to help here.
That's it for both fights. I 100% agree with that because right when I told you Jeevan and his brother were over, we were watching the fight and all you guys were saying, oh, Ngannou probably got this. I'm like, I'm betting you right now, Fury's going to win this fight one way or another. Or at the most, it'll be labeled a draw. It won't be a Ngannou win.
And a 1 point.
And the split decision.
1 point split decision for Fury.
Because they're trying to save the Usyk fight as well.
It's scripted.
No, like boxing, it just like LeBron tweeted like, this is why I don't watch boxing. And Dane was like, what the hell? Ryan Garcia, who's a boxer, saying Ngannou is my heavyweight champion of the world. And so on
exactly,
and so forth.
Right?
But yeah, no, those are our thoughts on it. Francis Ngannou, though, welcome to the boxing scene.
Exactly, welcome to boxing. But boxing does have a lot of controversial.
Let's see. Scorings. I do want to see him face a full-fledged Wilder of Joshua or a Chisora or whoever. A full-fledged, ready, not like essentially what we thought Tyson Fury should have been and done. Then
my last question, just to recap this: will we see a rematch?
Not right now, but
eventually.
Yeah, you know what I saw though? Rematches on Misfits. The main event be Fury and Ngannou, even though Ngannou's on PFL.
Yeah.
And obviously KSI, Tommy Fury. But
on Misfits.
Do I see a rematch? Yeah, it's a money fight in the future because everybody thinks Ngannou got robbed.
How much is it? I mean, okay, I'm not gonna say that. I was like, yo, Fury. I'm not, like, will Fury retire? But then Fury came back.
No, Fury will. If Fury rematches this, he'll definitely do what he did with essentially what he did to Wilder. I have no doubts about that, but I'm not taking anything away from what Francis Ngannou did. This is not me saying Tyson Fury is the better boxer. I still think he's the better boxer overall, but you have to show it, and he did not show it. That's it.
Yeah.
Last boxing news, because I really forgot this fight was on Friday night. History in the women's boxing side of things. Amanda Serrano, she faced Danila Ramos in a 12 round 3-minute round. Like pretty much what the men's do.
A full-fledged boxing match.
A full-fledged boxing.
Yeah.
She won by unanimous, so they went all 12.
Yeah.
She won 120 to 108, so she won every round 10-9.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch the fight. I'm going to try to go back and watch it if I can. But yeah, full-on domination. But like I said, lasted all 12 rounds. So the fact that Danila Ramos lasted all 12 rounds, not getting knocked out, is big.
Exactly.
As well.
Yeah.
Or no stop.
And Serrano was like definitely her.
I'm like, if this is gonna happen,
Yeah.
make sure it's 2 fighters that can go 12 rounds.
Yeah.
Because I ain't trying to see. Oh yeah, it's a 12-round fight and it was done within like
done like 3 rounds, but no, Serrano and Katie Taylor, obviously the two are the better ones in the women's division.
Well, she's having a rematch with Chantel Cameron, who she lost to.
And obviously
who's the other third girl now?
The third girl is Chantel Cameron as well. But yeah, Taylor and Serrano supposed to have a rematch, right? Because their first fight was so insane.
Who?
Taylor and Serrano.
That was supposed to happen in May. And then Serrano pulled up because of injury.
And then Taylor
fought Cameron
and lost.
And she won. Cameron won. But it was for Cameron's belts, not Taylor's belts.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it was not like Taylor. They weren't unifying. Taylor has her own weight. Her own weight class.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So they're rematching in November in Ireland again. So I'm actually down. That fight was good. So
it's gonna be a good one.
And UFC November 11. We already got into that, so we'll hold off on that for now. But yeah,
let's go into some NBA early reactions.
All right, Mr. Raptor fan, are you off those drugs of a game that you watched on
everything
Friday
that
night?
Has happened to the Raptors? I have expected. I am not surprised about what anything has happened to the season.
What made that game more into drugs was DeMar DeRozan thought he was a Raptor and he could not hit the clutch free throw to win the game.
Exactly.
Or tie the game or whatever.
At the end of the day, offensively, yes, you're looking better, but turnovers are...
Half court ain't the greatest.
It's not the greatest turnover.
Pascal's not getting the
turnovers.
touches.
Bro, let me talk. Like turnovers, been terrible. 9 turnovers in the first quarter. Pascal Siakam, not been like Pascal Siakam. Only person that has shown up in all 3 games has been Scotty Barnes. OG Anunoby is already injured, which obviously makes Gary Trent Jr. starting. Grady Dick is coming off a good performance. You lost to the Sixers, expected. You lost to the Bulls, even though
should have won. Even though there was like 2 big scoring runs on both sides.
Yeah, exactly. It was like what, 22 to 46 to like
I don't even know.
3. Then like
33 to 3 for the Raptors.
The Raptors went like 33 to 3 to bounce back, and like they blew that, and that game was just too much. And then defensively, you're looking pretty decent. Like I don't have any question marks really defensively, but Embiid and Maxey did cook you. But at the end of the day, Raptors overreaction is I expected everything that's gonna happen, and this team will be a barely play-in team. I won't be surprised if they miss out. All
right, going into the Lakers, very quickly, I guess, before we talk about the rest of the league, early reactions for the rest of the league, because James Harden did show up to Philly, by the way. But we were talking with some cousins and family friends and throughout, and Jeevan obviously is a Laker fan like us and his family. Our cousin sister-in-law, who's a big Celtics fan, we were just chatting randomly the other day when I saw her, and she was talking about wanting to go to Christmas game, the Celtics, and then I'm like, oh, let's see who it is. I'm like, oh, it's us, right? She's like, oh, that's easy, right? Because she said the same thing last year after the trade deadline. Before the trade deadline, I agreed that like the Lakers were cooked, right?
They were cooked.
Last year. This year, I'm like, okay, we got better, and all of like Jeevan's, not Jeevan, but like his dad was like, oh, I don't see the Lakers doing anything, because a lot of them are saying because AD's gonna get hurt again, right? And with Pardeep, we talked about the injuries, and I agree with him 100% because you can't control injuries, but I do agree with them about the whole rest situation, which we'll talk about in a second. But anyways, I said the main thing that will hold the Lakers back is Coach Ham, Darvin Ham, because I'm not sold on him. I understand how good we did last year, but I'm not sold on the lineups because AD at times should not be the only big on the floor. They should partner up with, and the stretches with Christian Wood or Jackson Hayes. Max Christie needs to play. Because like obviously this is coming off the Kings game, and Gabe Vincent, for whatever reason, I think they're good at Miami only, and then they go everywhere else and they're not that good. Gabe Vincent, dumb foul call late, and this was with Sabonis fouled out and Fox getting injured. So for me, I still believe in the Lakers. I still think they're a top 5 team in the league when healthy and everything going their way, and they're a conference final team. It's just I need to see what Darvin Ham make better adjustments.
Finish off.
About the Lakers or in just general?
Yeah, are you done with Lakers or?
Oh yeah, just like that's the main thing.
Yeah, just you're a 1-2 record. Raptors are 1 and 2.
Okay.
So kind of similar in that way.
Also, but the West is way better than the East. I don't care what anybody says.
West is better than the East, 100%. Because the East is Boston and Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And there's everyone else. Whereas the West, you have Nuggets, you have the Suns, you have the Lakers. You could throw in a healthy Clippers as well. But when you're looking at that, like, they look at the second tier teams, the Mavs, the Timberwolves, the Pelicans, the Thunder are up and coming when you compare it to the
There's
East.
11 teams. Like
yeah, exactly. There's 11 teams.
But the true contenders are probably like 5 of them, to be fair.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, for me, the whole rest situation, I think Joel Embiid played today, but apparently he was supposed to rest. Jimmy Butler already rested.
Devin
so
Booker,
that argument with our family
Devin
that we
Booker,
always have,
Devin Booker already rested.
I don't think he rested. I think he was hurt. He just played game 1 injured, and then he missed the next 2 games, not just 1.
Okay, but still disappointing. And
yeah, like it's so tough to depict who's actually resting and who's not playing injured. Because I do agree with when Pradeep was on and we had that conversation. You can't play injured, but if you're saying you're slightly sore and you just want to rest, my arm is just sore.
Yeah, that's
a different debate, and unfortunately we can't control it, right? Like at the end of the day, when Kawhi tore something, I'm not gonna be like, do that. I still believe in Anthony Davis. Like he had a great performance today. We wasted it again. So that's my point with the Lakers. But early overreactions everywhere else. Dame. We haven't talked about Dame. We had 2 sides. Because the Damian Lillard first game was Thursday, so we already released that
Bucks
episode.
already lost. The Bucks already lost.
Damian Lillard set the record for a debut.
39 points.
Yeah, I think he set the record overall.
And he followed it up by a 6-point performance against the Hawks. So... what are you gonna say? Bucks aren't contending, obviously. But yeah, 1-1. I mean, I kind of expected like a 5-0 start, a little bit, and yeah, that's a little bit
early though. They're trying to he got traded late, like right before training.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true too.
Chris Paul came off the bench for the first time in his career today because Draymond Green is back. Warriors obviously beat the Rockets, not surprising. Scoot Henderson, a little underwhelming right now to start off his career. Again, a rookie. I'm not gonna judge anything.
Whereas Wembanyama
also kind of, I don't know, 11.
I think that today's his first bad game.
Yeah,
but the other 2 games,
Chet's killing it.
The other 2 games he killed it.
Chet's killing it. Chet Holmgren's killing it.
Yeah, today's only Wembanyama's bad game. The other 2 games he was perfectly fine.
Denver's doing fine. It looks like Pelicans, as long as they're healthy, will be fine.
The Pelicans are good. When they're healthy, they're good. The Clippers, when they're healthy, even though they lost their Jazz, they're still good. The issue is obviously who the hell is going to get injured. Comparing with Zion and Kawhi and Paul George and Brandon Ingram, you guys, they're good players. They're winning players, right? They're going to help you win games. But the issue is, are they going to be on the court? And because when they are, they're very good teams.
Yeah, no, essentially. Very early overreaction. Pacers are 2-0 and the Magic are 2-0. They're winning the finals.
That's the Eastern Conference Finals.
Very minimal overreaction though. Denver is 3-0 to start, so they picked up where they left off, and they're shutting me up about them losing the offseason in a way. Not being the biggest loser, that's Miami, but they're one of the losers. But moving over to the NHL, before we get into our reactions there, Joe Thornton officially called it a career.
Jumbo
Joe has retired after 24 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
I remember him in Boston, and then that trade kind of happened.
My childhood is going. Patrice Bergeron, Ovechkin's old, Crosby's old, Jumbo Joe's retired.
That's when I kind of like paid attention to hockey.
Yeah, no.
Start I'm talking about the early days though, I guess.
But you have the the
04. My earliest memory of hockey is when the Canucks lost to the Flames in Game 1.
I don't remember.
Getting that playoffs in round 1.
I don't remember that.
That's me. I think that's my earliest.
That's when you started knowing some players. Where me, it kind of started with Bergeron.
I was in grade 3 if I wasn't mistaken.
Kind of started when Bergeron he was good, started getting fully developed. Stamkos was a 09. Freaking Patrick Marleau, now Jumbo Joe.
Chichu.
I didn't see much Chichu as much as I seen these other guys.
Yeah, Chichu was a Rocket Richard winner, I think, in Ovechkin's first or second year.
Yeah, I didn't see much Chichu compared to Bergeron and Jumbo Joe.
Joe Thornton, 44 years
old.
old.
And Joe McGinley as well.
Started off his career in Boston. Like I said, I watched a little bit of that before ultimately making his name with San Jose. Had 1 year stint with Toronto and then 1 year with Florida before calling it. 1997 to 2002.
That's
his
wild.
playing career.
That's insane.
First overall pick by the Bruins, like I said. I wonder what that trade was, if I could recognize those players. But remind me of the Shane Pinto thing. I forgot to write it there.
Shane Pinto.
That was a massive news you have to get into.
Was that the face you made?
That's why, because when I was opening.
You made that weird face. They're like, oh, you gotta say something. Or before I forget type of face.
Joe Thornton also being a Canadian, so multi-time Olympic
gold medal winner. And absolute stud career. Obviously, one thing that Jumbo Joe hasn't done was win a Stanley Cup. Same with Patrick Marleau as well.
Okay, so ahead of the... this is interesting, now that I'm looking back into this. He was at RFA in the summer of 2005, and the contracts were strained, right? And Thornton was reportedly unhappy with the direction of the Bruins franchise and upset with the criticism of his play in the early exit in 2004. Nevertheless, Thornton re-signed with Boston on August 11, 2005 to a 3-year, $20 million contract, obviously being, at that time, massive. Thornton began...
Sorry, are you seeing his life story now?
Boston's front office... No, this is the big key part.
Okay, yeah.
Boston's front office was apparently unhappy with his leadership style. Thus, even though they still signed the contract.
Yeah.
Then he got traded middle of the year for Marco Strum. I remember that name. Sturm.
Yeah.
Wayne Primo, I don't know that. Brad Stewart, I remember that name. That's crazy.
Exactly.
Just looking back, I just need to look back at this. It's like memory lane a little bit.
But yeah, Jumbo Joe, Hall of Famer. Probably.
Oh yeah,
100%.
100%.
And
I don't think he won a cup. But
he didn't.
Outside
but
of that,
Hall of Famer. He's done everything he possibly can.
Outside of that.
If the
Sedins are in, he should be.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. And congrats on an incredible career.
All right.
And congrats on ruining my childhood sometimes because you're a Sharks player. And Canucks.
That Sharks team was insane.
That was a good Sharks team.
Those three. It was like Heatley. Heatley came after. But it was like Chichu, like I said,
Pavelski was there.
I think McCulloch and Chichu got traded for Heatley.
Oh, exactly. So that's even earlier.
Yeah.
Is that even before Pavelski? And like Tour?
Pavelski was 03 draft, if I'm not mistaken.
Like Brent Burns.
Brent Burns came after.
Yeah.
He came way after. And obviously Carlson too. I think it was like their defense, their goalie was
Nabokov, yeah.
And Toskala.
Yeah, Nabokov.
Those were the two goalie
Nabokov,
tandems.
Yeah.
And then they had Christian Ehrhoff before we got Christian Ehrhoff.
Yeah.
I remember that. And Mark Edward Vlasic and all these guys.
Yeah.
But moving on. Check out the NHL Greg Wyshynski pod, because when we failed with him, it was Thursday morning at 6 a.m. our time, and news broke right after we finished recording an hour later. Shane Pinto suspended 41 games for breaking gambling rules. So Shane Pinto of the Ottawa Senators, shout out Alex Adams who covers them. So I always see the tweets about him.
Yeah.
About not signing a contract yet. So I don't know how much of this is in play. There's a lot of confusing shit with this, by the way. Like in terms of when his suspension starts or if it's a contract, he has to sign the qualifying offer or whatever. So there's contract disputes and he was sent home. And then that morning, I think it was Pierre LeBrun or Derek Dreger. One of them tweeted hearing that Shane Pinto will be suspended for a while or something. And then it came out. 41 games for activities related to sports wagering. The league found no evidence that Pinto bet on NHL games. So if it's not NHL games, they probably would have been banned for life or whatever the case may be.
So he's not allowed to...
It's 41 games for
activities. He's not allowed to bet in general?
Yeah, I guess not. I know that's the confusing part because people
because NFL you're allowed to bet in general.
That's the confusing part. They're saying that they could be allowed.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. It says 41 games for activity relating to sports wagering.
Okay, but like if
which is kind of
related.
Ironic because I think they're sponsored by Bet something.
Bet 369 or something.
Yeah, I think that one. Yeah, and then obviously the betting sponsors in general.
No, okay, NHL games I understand. If it's not NHL games, remove his suspension.
He's the first suspension in NHL's first suspension is the NHL's first betting related ban. According to Chris Johnston in World of Online Wagering, there's rumors that his friend did it, which if that's the case, that's stupid.
That's on him. Yeah.
The 22-year-old hasn't played yet. The suspension began with the first game of the Senators' season and isn't dependent on him signing a new contract. So it's already started. It's retroactive to that.
No, if
he's accepting it, by the way, as well.
Yeah, but if he if the thing is true where like he hasn't bet on NHL games, he shouldn't be suspended, right?
Yeah,
right.
But at the end of the day, that's a different story. I get that. If the rule is you can't gamble, and we could argue two things.
Yeah, no, but like I was just putting the rule. But like if the rule is you can't gamble in general, then you shouldn't be doing in general, yeah. But yeah, so that's the Shane Pinto news. What else are you looking into right now? Because
I'm just looking more into this because there's a lot of
there's a lot of stuff. You guys could check it out on your it's big. You guys could check it out on your.
It's the first ever NHL related
suspension. There's many
for betting.
Many articles are going to be out about this just because of
it's already been out because it happened on Thursday.
Yeah, and exactly, first ever NHL suspension, and think whatever you guys think about that, like if he should be suspended or not.
Yeah,
depending on if he's betting on NHL.
It's just a lot of hypocrisy.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's where it's like you guys are making money on betting. Now, like I said, like we've said, don't bet on the sport. But no, but rules. Also, it's like the whole weed thing where like okay, you're not supposed to do it, so don't do it.
Yeah.
But I get the argument of doing it, I guess, because it's I don't know, in terms of like that related thing.
But also another thing is. His is kind of similar to Calvin Ridley. I don't know. When was this? Was he playing when he did it? Like, was he playing?
I have no clue.
Okay, yeah, but if it's like, okay, whatever. We'll just move on.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Check out
when it happened. This is the investigation ended on Wednesday or something.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, quick NHL reactions. Canucks are good again?
Yeah, question mark?
Canucks are good again?
Hey, we're not the only ones because Greg Wyshynski has them as a wild card spot as well. Officiating is bad as always. Yeah, that screwed us over in that Rangers game on a back-to-back. Dominated the Blues. Usually those are the games the Canucks lose. That another team's on a back-to-back and we're rested, coming home from first game from the road trip. But no, they did well there. The Rangers game, obviously we came from our soccer game. They did well. Again, 5-on-5 is still the question mark. They're good on special teams. The big thing is the penalty kill. And this is without Mikheyev finally going. I think he finally played on the Rangers. Massively improved, yeah. But no Bluger as well. And
Demko still. Demko, the Smith is
killing it
himself.
We wasted that Philly game. It's pissing me off.
Exactly. Demko in that Philly game. Oh my goodness. Myers turned it around a little bit as well.
Yeah.
I'll give credit where credit's due. He got a goal and assist in the last 2 games. And JT Miller, that line with the Giuseppe and Besser, they've been good. Petey's been good. Kuzmenko's, been better when
Nora's favorite.
Hughes Nora's favorite. Definitely in the conversation for sure.
Yeah.
And Kuzmenko's picked it up since Mikheyev came back in as well, just because of that little Russian factor to it. And they're looking good. Genuinely, it's weird seeing that the only sports team that I'm excited for is the Canucks because Man United are a shit show. Colts are not supposed to win. Raptors is what I expected. And
the Blue Jays are up.
And the Blue Jays are disappointing.
So that's the Canucks. They're second in the division. But first in the division were 3 undefeated teams. Colorado actually got their second loss now.
Yeah.
Colorado, Vegas, and Boston, which obviously our overreaction was Boston's probably winning the cup because they shut me up already.
Exactly.
But the difference is Boston and Vegas, their first losses were overtime or / shootout losses, which means they're still on a point streak.
They're on a point streak, yeah.
Team point streak. Colorado got their ass kicked by
Buffalo today, yeah.
No, before. Who was the first loss? They got their ass kicked in that one.
I think that was Pittsburgh. I think they lost 4-0. 4-0 Pittsburgh.
So they're combined 8-0 losing goals.
Streak, right? Last 2 games.
Combined 2-game losing streak, collectively 8-0
Wow, that's
insane.
That's
considering
insane.
You have a team of McCarr and McKinnon and Rantanen and stuff, right? That was one. That's the update on that. The battle of the shit show of the Heritage Classic. Oilers Flames. Oilers looked the better team still. McDavid came back from his injury. They're 2-5-1. Flames are 2-6-1. And Wyshynski obviously had the Oilers, I believe, winning it all. And he wanted to cause chaos in Canada, so he said Oilers beat the Leafs.
Oilers, because we kind of expect them to turn it around, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the Flames are like,
I don't expect them to turn it around.
I don't expect the Flames. Whereas the Oilers, I could see them going on a hot run, and this might help. Coming off a big losing streak, and Heritage Classic, obviously, and McDavid's back. So let's see what happens with the Oilers from now on. And obviously our mommy is hoping that as well. But yeah, Canucks, I love you. Please keep it going.
Yeah, how sustainable is it in your opinion?
It is, right? Whereas a Boudreaux one, we're like, okay, you're gonna leak goals.
Because this is structure.
With Boudreaux is like, okay, if Demko doesn't play good, you're losing.
Yeah.
And with this one is, Demko doesn't have to face many shots.
So I guess I wouldn't say we played the toughest schedule. You play who's in front of you. I agree with Greg about that. The one game you did lose happened to be the worst against one of our projected worst teams.
But they're killing them themselves. The Flyers are killing it themselves. So like technically, it's a hard schedule
because it's coming up. The stretches.
Like on.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna talk about this one team in a second.
Yeah, but if you're looking at on standings, Oilers is technically the worst team we played.
On standings, yes.
Yeah, right, and then maybe the Blues as well, and maybe Panthers. I don't know.
It's a tough stretch. I think it's in
December. I think or end of November, beginning of December.
Yeah, that's a true one.
Yeah.
Listen, Calgary it starts with Vegas. Calgary within the division is still going to be tough. Devils, Wild, Canes, Lightning, Panthers, Wild, Bedard.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
that's the true test.
I do want to say this because I want to talk about this one last team, and then we'll transition to soccer. The San Jose Sharks suck. There's a comment on our YouTube post, I think on our NHL rankings, that someone went back and posted on. Shout out to you.
Yeah.
I'll give you a proper shout out while I search this up, saying that this team might go 0-81-1 because they did technically have 1 point. So they're 0-8-1 right now.
They're 0-8-1 right now. Yeah.
And while I pulled that up, it's Canucks play them in 2 games. They play Halloween against Predators.
It's a trap game now, right?
And what we thought with Philly could happen here.
It's a trap game now.
Dude, San Jose is so bad. And they're going to be so bad for like a couple of years. Because they have no system, prospects.
They need
that at least I know of.
Yeah. Obviously, their draft pick from this year, Will Smith, is going to be leading that charge. Yeah. Not the actor.
There's many Will Smiths.
Not the baseball players and all that stuff. But yeah, no, Sharks are really bad. They're in a tough spot. They're going to take like 3-4 years just to be competitive again. Taco Cruiser 4238. Sharks could go 81-1 this season. They're that bad. Yes, Taco Cruiser. Shout out Taco Cruiser.
We agree with you.
Yes, you may be right.
Yeah, they're that. I don't expect it to be that bad either, though. That's the thing. Like, it's the NHL. At the end of the day, you could probably grind out a win. Hopefully, not the Canucks.
A lot of the wins were kind of because of Erik Karlsson as well.
Yeah,
which he's not there anymore.
Okay, let's move on to soccer. Ballon d'Or winner probably will already be announced by the time this comes out because you're working late. So, this episode will be out around 4 PST. So Ballon d'Or winner is probably already announced, and like we mentioned last time, I hate the fact that it's pre-announced because I genuinely think this is a close one.
Yeah,
right. I know Messi was gonna win it because of the sentimental factor of it, mainly,
and the World Cup,
and that part of it,
trophy.
That one, right? But I was not gonna be surprised if Haaland had won it. Would you have been surprised if Haaland had won it somehow?
No, I wouldn't have been surprised.
You would disagree with it, but not be surprised.
I would disagree with it, but I won't be surprised.
Like, this isn't like when Benzema we knew Benzema was gonna win.
Yeah, Benzema deserved it.
But so that Ballon d'Or should already be out. I think Golden Ball is probably gonna be Jude.
There's no one else.
I know, right?
It's Jude. It should be the Jude trophy, right?
This year, yeah.
Even next year or whatever it is. Jude might be Ballon d'Or next year. The way he's going.
Right now, he should be.
El Classico.
Yeah, so let's go into recap. Let's start with El Clasico. 1-0 early. Gundogan, I think, scored.
Gundogan scored another big game.
And then Jude
took over, basically.
And people are saying that he scores tap-ins. Nah, he shut you up.
What a
long-range banger to tie the game and then get the 94th minute winner, I think it was.
Yeah, and that was a tap-in, but
yeah, but
it was still a decent finish.
Correct position at the correct time.
At the end of the day, like, you're a center midfielder scoring those many goals.
Yeah. With a team that doesn't really have a true number 9 yet.
Exactly. So
that I know of, really.
That's insane. He's been on an insane run. I think Peter Galindo just described it best on our podcast. He's making $100 million bargain.
Yeah.
You know, people
by the way, check the Peter Galindo podcast out too.
Like, people it might be a fair. Like, $100 million, you can't make $100 million look like a bargain. And he is.
Now you can because of the market. But
in general,
even if this was $100 million during the...
But no one's really...
If this was $100 million back in 2016, I still would have agreed with it.
Other than Neymar, it's like, no one's really, broke that $200 million record.
No one's got close. I mean, there's a lot of people that have come close now.
Yeah, like, people like $150 million, $160 million.
There's a bunch of 150s now.
Yeah, exactly. But at the end of the day, $100 million is $100 million. A lot of money, right? A lot of investment, and he's making that look like a bargain. That's insane.
He's early Ballon d'Or favorite. I don't care what anybody says.
It's not like Haaland's $60 million.
Yeah.
This is $100 million.
Supposedly $60 million. 116 charges.
Speaking of, who knows?
Speaking of Manchester City,
Manchester
United, Manchester City, Manchester derby occurred in Old Trafford. Did I expect a loss to happen? Yes. You're gonna hear us kind of complain and rant for a little bit here, but
you go first.
Sure, because all you're gonna be like, yeah, I agree with you.
Exactly.
No. Again,
okay. Before you get into it, do not say anything about ownership.
Okay.
Do not say anything about ownership.
To reiterate,
because we're way past that now.
No, I still think that's included, but I'm not gonna talk about it.
Yeah, it's a fact.
I'm not gonna talk about it. I still think they're the biggest problem, but secondary problem comes down to the front office. But specifically on
let's just talk about the game. Let's just talk about the coaching and the players.
Okay.
And the injuries.
So the injuries are a big factor. I don't care. Our back line can't be.
Yeah.
No one at the beginning of the season should tell me that your back line for a Manchester derby game is going to be Dalot, Maguire, Evans, and Lindelof at left back, right? Overall, though, like I said, everything's to blame from top to bottom. I said that, and I'll listen to you. I won't talk about the ownership thing, but when it comes to like the scouting and then the bringing in the players and not on time, that again we're past that now.
That's front office. So don't put that
I still blame the players slightly more than a little bit. I still blame the coaching. It's like more. I guess I'll say 55-45 players, because at the end of the day, you're not going to control them what they do on the field, right? Let's get that out of the way. When they do well, we'll give credit to them as well. It's not just the manager there as well. Rashford feels like he got his contract and now back down to earth.
Pedestrian.
Bruno's playing out of position. That's on the coaching staff.
Rashford's not getting involved in games as well.
And Bruno's out of position. That's more on the coaching staff. Our backline is decimated. Onana went nuts now.
He's been
fine.
Well.
Like outside of the 2 Champions League games, he's been decent now.
Yeah, just his early start in general.
Yeah, so
it's been bad.
Okay, he's after pretty much that Copenhagen game on.
Copenhagen game, yeah.
He's fine. The problem with me is, listen, I'm team Ten Hag still needs to be the manager, because I ain't trying to see another manager get fired and then go through this whole thing with another manager.
That's the only reason why I want him to stay.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if people say, oh, Ten Hag needs to go because he can't win games, look at last year. Last year was not a fluke. He had a healthy team.
Yeah, and the point is like, when they start struggling, figure it out.
Yeah, because like
Arteta had time to figure it out. Arteta wasn't producing instantly. Klopp wasn't producing instantly. The only person that produced instantly was Pep,
because he was getting
squad. $350 million per year.
And a squad.
And
150 charges. But no, like outside of the memes aside, for me, yes, Ten Hag has to have the blame, because I don't agree with the lineup. If his word is true, I don't think it's true. I think he's just protecting Varane. That it was a tactical decision to take the blame on himself. I think that's what he's trying to say. I disagree. If that was a tactical decision, Varane should have been playing that game. If that was the case, and Reguilon should have been playing that game as well to start off with. Amrabat for McTominay, I think he just started. I guess he started riding the hot hand of McTominay being the guy. McTominay is a super sub. Let's get that clear. He should have not been starting games. Sure, midweek games or like the Sheffield game, fine. I was fine with it. But it should have been Mason Mount. Bruno has to be in the middle. Even with Christian Eriksen, I don't think he's a starter. Right? Because if we are struggling to start the game, then you bring in Christian Eriksen like we did in the previous. Because if you're struggling from the beginning with Christian Eriksen, who are you going to sub him on for?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Bruno needs to be on the field. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not. Yes, has he been struggling?
He needs to be on the field, but
in the correct position.
He needs to be playing better.
And in the correct position.
But at the end of the day, both center mid or not, he hasn't been good. He hasn't been.
I still think he's a better center mid than he was a right.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying center mid or not, he hasn't been good at any position.
No, I'm fine with him getting into center mid because he's the one.
He's better center mid. I agree with that. He's a better center mid. Put him center mid, but play better. That's on you.
Rashford needs to get subbed now because it feels like he
needs
no competition right now.
He needs to come on the bench.
Garnacho, as much as I disagree with him starting, because I don't think he's a starter right now. He deserves to start.
He deserves it. He's fighting his way back. Okay, for me,
because no service is being provided to Rashford. Yeah. Let me finish off very quickly. But overall, though, yes,
you're gonna take all the
Ten
points.
Hag. No, I'm gonna say the last point, and then I'll let you go. Ten Hag, I don't want this guy to get fired. Simple as that, right? But what you're doing right now is because it's the classic hire manager, give him help for the first year, players perform well under him, win some trophies or be competitive, get the top 4. Next year, don't support him properly, injuries, whatever, players accuse manager, for example, the Jadon Sancho situation, and fire him, hire a new manager, repeat. Don't want that anymore. So
exactly, yeah.
At the end of the day, for this game, yes, I blame Ten Hag for the thing, but for not setting up the right tactics. But I blame the players for not performing. At the end of the day, perform. It's a Manchester derby. Yeah, Rashford, you're from Manchester.
They lost it within.
Doku tweeting out at the end of the game, ha ha ha, Manchester still blue. That should light a fire under your ass.
Exactly. So they're not playing with a fire under their ass, and that's the number one reason. Players. For me personally, I blame Ten Hag. Ten Hag lost us this game from minute 1 to minute 90. Terrible substitutions.
What's their allocation of blame though? You can't say 100%.
Oh no, yeah, like the players need to like.
So you're saying 60-40 on
60-40, 65-35, whatever.
Yeah.
Ten Hag, at the end they set this team up to fail from the beginning with the lineup he put on. I don't care if he's protecting Varane. I'm gonna base off what he said. If starting Varane benching Varane was a tactical decision, you fucked up from the beginning of the game. As simple as that.
Mom.
Mom might not even watch it. Mom's not going to understand what's going on. Mom might not even watch till the end of this right now. Varane should have been starting. I'm gonna say I don't care if you're like saying hiding it, whatever. You said it was a tactical decision. That's number one mistake. Number two, Reguilon should have started. Agree with that too. You gotta have players playing in the proper position, which leads to my third point. Bruno should be at center mid, and Mount should be starting. And
on the wing this game.
Everything was wrong but the lineup.
And then for whatever reason, I don't know why his adjustments were late.
Apart from Onana, apart from Dalot, just because you have no other option, and apart from Rasmus Højlund.
At this point, Harry Maguire as well.
And Harry Maguire. Everything about this lineup was wrong. Obviously you gotta start Rashford, so I'm
this
knock
game,
him
yes,
on that, but I think you should I don't know why they adjusted so much. Like every manager, when you start playing City or these big games, they should go to the 4 midfield and put Bruno out wide. I don't understand that, right? Like play what's been working. McTominay shouldn't have started, but for me personally, Ten Hag lost us this game more than the players, just because Ten Hag just set it up to fail, right? Subbing off Amrabat at half was probably the most dumbest decision I've witnessed in my life watching Man United.
Because
we had worse managers before, and I think that was the most stupidest decision I've seen as a Man United fan.
The reason why I don't want him to get fired is also if he had won this game or he wins the next game, he'll be the quickest manager to a certain amount of wins. But the flip side, he's the first manager to have like this type of record for Man United since the 80s.
Exactly. And also, how much is it Ten Hag's like, oh, you're not backing me, so screw you guys. I'm going to play the players that you are telling me to play. And obviously those players are like, the Evans, the McTominays, those guys.
Technically Maguire
as well. Where like they're not backing him and they're like, okay, this is what's gonna happen when you.
Yeah, I mean,
is that true?
That's where the ownership comes in.
Yeah,
at the end of
but
the
then
day.
That's where Ten Hag's like, you gotta be smart. That's where Ten Hag's like, okay, you gotta win games, right? And if you're saying we tried everything we could after the game, if that's what you tried everything we could, I'm worried as a United fan. Like, is that the best United we're gonna see then? Is that what you view United as at their best? If we tried everything we could against City, like you can't say that after the game.
I think that's a message to ownership and thing, because he's saying this is what you gave me. I'm trying my ass off here, ain't working. The players ain't being responsive, or they saying. I think him saying that is a message more so than anything.
Okay, yeah, no, because people, that's understand. A worrying sign. Though.
But again,
yeah,
that like when managers use this. Yeah, you saw what John Herdman said before.
Exactly, yeah, they're gonna use it at that. But I'm gonna use it based on, like I said, I'm a base off what he said.
Yeah, but
and if you said
there's hidden
we
messages
tried everything we could after that performance, where we're out of it since minute 1. Players are blamed to this.
I was in minute 3.
Huh?
I was in minute 3 or 4.
Okay, fine.
Because you missed the beginning.
Minute 3 or 4. And I would also say players are like, okay, they deserve to play because they were not playing with a fire under their ass, right? They were not playing like it was a derby game at all.
Yeah.
They're playing freaking some Sunday league team from like I don't even know. I can't even. That's how bad they were playing.
Yeah.
It's like they're playing my team. Our rec league team.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
I mean, our rec league team has potential. We just are not fit.
Exactly. But like I said, that phrase just worries me so much, because if that's the best thing you could display on the pitch this season, what is the worst thing you're gonna display on this? What is the worst? What is the bad?
I think that's a hidden message. I'm being dead honest with you. The Varane one, if that's that one, I'll agree with you. I'll take that one at face value. This one, I'm saying it's a hidden message.
Okay, yeah.
Towards the ownership and the front office and towards the players.
But I'm just concerned if that's everything you could have done. What is the bad game?
That means that's on the players then. More so.
What is the worst game? Because you're telling me it doesn't be worse than this?
Because I think that's kind of bullshit too. Because he admitted the McTominay that sub was bad. Yeah. I think from what I'm seeing, what Goldbridge has tweeted, and Goldbridge, because first of all, the ref atrocious penalty, by the way.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Atrocious penalty.
Terrible penalty.
Because there was a worse one after on I think Maguire on Haaland and Goldbridge I respect because he isn't a complete biased United fan, right? So that's why I like looking at his tweets more. Because he says it as it is, and he says that, and I agree with most of what he says with the Bruno stuff and everything, because he says, taking away Bruno's captaincy ain't going to do shit.
Exactly, yeah, it's not going to do anything.
For me, like I said, last thing before, I know we could go on and on about this, because it was annoying. It was a derby game, we have to address it.
Yeah.
I think Ten Hag deserves the blame. I'm backing him. I'm still backing him.
I'm still backing him too.
Because people are comparing, like, where is this Ten Hag from Ajax? Do we have Frankie de Jong on the team and De Ligt on the team that could do stuff like that? We only got Onana, and that's it, right? I don't know who the Anthony we're gonna get here is.
But yeah, like there's certain players, certain things that you blame on players, like Bruno and Rashford. I'm just fully blaming them, and there's certain things like decisions you blame on, Eric Ten Hag, which is like starting McTominay, subbing off Amrabat, playing Bruno out wide.
So essentially, this United faithful space.
Yeah, and then like my last point. Let me just quickly finish here. Yeah. And there's certain players, certain things you blame for ownership and scouting. Were like, okay, you bring in Johnny Evans instead of a proper young center back that could play, the depth role where Zandro Martinez is injured, right? You bring in Rasmus Højlund, but you didn't really address the attacking depth as much. You didn't really address the Amrabat situation. Is a prime example there with the midfield depth.
Last couple things before I want to say just a couple of tweets I want to read. This is from United Faithfuls, backing him and wanting him to succeed, but gotta say some of Eric Ten Hag's questions are questionable. He has to take his fair share of blame. Fair point. We're not saying he's invincible, but
fair point. That's a good point.
It's in the middle because there's some people that are saying radical because of the whole, I guess, the Ronaldo situation as well, that Ten Hag's got to go. He's a fraud. You cannot say last year was a fluke. I'm sorry. He had dealt with, he had more healthy players with Zandro Martinez, and he dealt with a little bit worse at times in terms of players. Now, it doesn't help when Marcus Rashford took a massive dip in his game.
Right.
On the flip side, Pep Guardiola's, what he said on Man City's Secret. We're in the same direction, me, the CEO, the sporting directors, the chairman. That's why I think this club is stable. And obviously, this is a real problem at Manchester United, which is why I said everybody's at blame.
Yeah.
Mainly top to bottom, for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
I think Ten Hag is the least out of the four, if you were to power rank them.
Yeah.
But, yeah, at the end of the day.
That's like, your club's got to be in sync. Like, I think I mentioned this before. Or you mentioned this before. But, like, everyone's doing their own thing. Like, there's no one in sync. That's the main point that we're, like, getting away from this. Because ownership's doing their own thing. Ten Hag's doing his own thing. The players are doing their own thing. The front office is doing their own thing.
Because this guy also said, look at how Ajax is playing. Someone please tell him to go back to his principles and get United playing like this. I'm begging. The problem is, I think he's just adapting to the personnel he has, and that's why he's not playing that Ajax ball. This is the reason why he's trying to go get Ajax players, because he wants to do that. But yeah, that's my rant. That's our rant.
That's our rant. Shout out to
please be better, because
shout out to Ange and Tottenham.
Yeah,
their first place. They're killing it without Harry Kane. I think
Harry Kane, man.
Arsenal.
You might be the guy.
Yeah, I mean they went 8-0 on the weekend as well.
Yeah, but that's different.
Exactly. But if you cause Bayern Munich to lose, then you're the issue as well. If
Harry Kane's got to win a trophy, especially
if you don't win.
I have to say Champions League more so, but
yeah. But I'm saying if you don't win the Bundesliga, that'll be even, because Bayern's been dominating that the last like 10 years. So if you cause Bayern to lose the Bundesliga, that'll be insane.
Chelsea, you're still a shit show, so you guys should.
Arsenal and City are tied for second, I believe, and then Liverpool's in there.
Liverpool's in there. Oh, Luis Diaz.
Yeah,
his mom. So Luis Diaz's parents got kidnapped in Colombia. His mom is safe, I believe. They're still trying to figure out the situation with his dad.
Dad's still missing. Yeah. So again, terrible news.
Terrible news there. United, yours are still Okay, not anymore. You're still 8 points off fourth, but I messed up, by the way. It wasn't the Milan derby. It was Roma versus Inter, and then AC versus Napoli.
Yeah.
That's what that big matchup was, and the other big matchup was Ajax getting their ass kicked somehow. So at the end of the day, they're missing Ten Hag.
They are missing Ten Hag. Yeah, exactly.
Right? They're missing Ten Hag. Because even after all those guys left, Ten Hag still handled them well. So that being said,
that wraps up today's pod.
So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Massive shout out to Greg Wyshynski, Nick Shuck, Pradeep Bains. Check all 3 podcasts out. We came through to you guys. Thursday, we dropped our pod. Friday, we dropped the Nick Shuck NFL pod. Saturday, we dropped the NHL Greg Wyshynski from ESPN pod. Nick Shuck from NFL.com, by the way. So today, at the time of this recording, Sunday. I guess, we dropped the Pradeep Bains sharing his fitness journey or fitness coaching journey. He's also Jazzy B's nephew. So that should help us get some more views.
Hopefully.
You guys are...
And then now Monday is our pod again.
Pod. But those of you guys that don't know who Jazzy B is, he's a Punjabi superstar. He's your version of Drake, I guess. Or even longer, and like Lil Wayne or someone.
And if you're brown and you don't know Jazzy B, you're a disgrace.
Exactly. Punjabi, to be exact.
Yeah.
But yeah, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, download the podcast and all that. Follow everything.
Follow the socials and
check out the podcast, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Peace.